The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome to a beautiful and lovely December 20th here at TFNN.com, the headquarters of technical trading and investing. And what do we have going on out here in the marketplace today? We've been up, we've been down, we're up a little bit now. Volumes kind of come in a little bit. What are we up? 4 points, 5 points on the S&P cash, 2.3 billion shares on the New York Stock Exchange tape. I won't be able to say that much longer because they're being bought out by ICE. And we'll have to find Ice Ice Baby to play here every time we talk about the markets from now on. But it's an interesting day. This day in, I think, 1957, maybe it was 1958, Elvis Presley got his notice that he was being drafted and ended up going into the military. Later on, about a year, I guess he was in Germany, they asked him to do a promo spot for polio vaccine. And at that point, only about 3 or 4% of the people in the United States had gotten a polio vaccine. In the next year, they kind of credit him as being the poster child for getting the polio vaccine. I think it was in the next year, we were past about 96, 97% of people in the United States had the polio vaccine. Maybe it was kids. Anyway, they credit him with getting a lot of people to go ahead and take it. You know, a lot of people talk about vaccines today like they're dirty, but certainly for the polio vaccine, it was a scourge that he kind of helped out on. So not too far removed all these years later. I mean, I think it was actually on this date also, 65 years ago, in about 1947, 1948, the invention of the transformer, the first working transistor, the first working transistor was created. So we've got a lot of history out here today. We've got that ICE merger. We've got a lot of people out there sniping about being short and long. Probably the biggest thing right now is, I think it's Herbalife. Right now is in the crosshairs. We've got two really big short aficionados of the street. We've got Einhorn and Ackerman, both coming after them. Let's see, Herbal. I'll have to remember how to spell it. E-A-R, Herbalife? Is that E-R-B, maybe? Herbalife. They were off about $5 this morning. And we'll keep an eye on that. But they had a conference today. The CEO came out on CNBC yesterday, started yelling and screaming that they were coming after him. One of the gentlemen that has a short position in the equity but not the options was blamed for trying to push it down. On the 29th of November, there was a absolute massive landslide of puts being bought on Herbalife. Herbalife or Herbalife. I wonder if you're supposed to actually pronounce that H. Anyway, old Herbalife was having some issues out here, and that is that everybody's, well, they called him, last night they called it a Ponzi scheme. And if you know any kind of multi-level marketing attempt, it gets awful close to that. I know people used to call what the Amway. I think Amway's got another name now. I see ads every once in a while for it. They used to call that a pyramid scheme. And is it a total pyramid scheme? I think a pyramid scheme, normally there's no real product. They actually had products, but the idea was pushing a lot of product into the channels. That's what they're actually getting blamed on. Both David Einhorn and, I forget the guy's name, Ackerman, first name anyway, are pushing that. They had a conference this morning, came out, laid it all out. I'll probably get a chance to look at it tonight. But a lot of these multi-level marketing companies have been getting slammed for the last 24, 36 hours on this. I think the CEO of Herbalife's name is Johnson. He's talking a lot about these guys coming after him, saying that they're all liars. In my experience, when these big men of the street have huge short interests in a stock and spend a year going after it, there's probably a much bigger story. Also, normally when you start hearing about it is when they're starting to cover. I think they had bought something in the neighborhood of 100,000 puts. I'm going to have to go back and check that out. But I heard that on the news today. And that those expired on Friday. So Johnson was basically saying that Ackerman had come out and was basically front-running his put positions because it was trading out at about $42. Those put options were at 40. So now they went to from like a quarter or 50 cents to $2, and everybody probably made a huge amount of money on that. Ackerman says he had no put positions in it, so maybe Einhorn has the put positions in it. But it's not uncommon when these sharks start coming after you. Now sometimes these things are total lies, and they're just running it. But normally they don't get so specific when it's a total lie. They just spread rumors. This is so specific. This is kind of like Enron when everybody knows the jig's up. I would be watching these stocks very, very closely, because once you get a few of these guys out there stirring the pot, these stocks can get HERB, Herbalife, HLF. Okay, I can bring it up here, HLF, and get a current quote on it here for us. Herbalife, HLF. Yeah, 33. Ooh, what's, yeah. Maybe I'll have to look back at it here. Yeah. So these guys are continuing to make much more money. I didn't see how much more today. But yesterday you had huge down volume in almost 21 million shares. You got more than that today. And not a bad deal out there if you're probably short. I talk a lot about Jesse Livermore, his book, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. We've had a gentleman call here many times about being short some stocks like Netflix that they're running, opposed to stocks like Herbalife that they're destroying. But stock operators work on both sides. This is, I think, a very teachable moment. If you can go back, look how the news rolled out in things like Herbalife, how it rolled out in Netflix, and how stock operators can, for a short time, manipulate the price of a stock. But both these are great examples. Netflix, you had Icon come in. He's always big for building up a stock that's been down. Einhorn is big for smacking down companies like Green Mountain Coffee Roasters and what's the other one? The taco place. Chipotle Grill. Thanks for my producer in the behind the glass. And he's probably good that he's behind the glass, because I would throw things at him if he wasn't. But anyway, Herbalife, we'll probably look at a few of these stocks after the break that are in the same sector. But be very worried of it, because these guys are seldom wrong. Let me put it that way. To build the case against Herbalife, they spent almost a year going through the books, researching it. These guys are not hacks that just come out and throw a tomato at a company and walk away. In fact, the language that Einhorn and Ackerman are both using would almost make people think the stock is going to zero. I don't say that lightly, but normally when these guys use the kind of language that Ackerman did today, that Einhorn's used in the past, Einhorn was probably the impotence for blowing this thing apart the first time back right after April 23rd this year. We've seen the consolidation this may be the time where they're actually getting ready to cover on this kind of news. But these stocks, once you get the bad PR on them, the PR stink never comes off, and we'll be continuing to watch that. Other things in the news today that we're thinking a lot about happens to be mostly revolved around it's kind of slight news, but probably the biggest thing that I think if you were in any kind of commodities is we're getting very close to shutting down the river on the Mississippi. If you've never lived on a river, I lived on the Ohio River for 4.5 years on a boat. I had tide poles that were 120 foot tall on the docks, and there was times I was looking at my boat in the mud, and times that I was wondering if it was going to go any higher and go right off the top of the tide poles, and the boat, the docks, and everything were going to go downstream. But as a good example, we are now looking at barges that normally need about 9 feet to get through, getting stuck quite a bit. That means that a few things that are trying to go north are going to be kind of a problem. You might be able to make some train and boxcar trades off this, but what that would do is probably raise the cost of all coal and all the pesticides and, of course, the what's the stuff that you put on the I'm having mental blanks all day today. The not pesticides, but to make it grow, the stuff that's good. Fertilizer, there it is. I'm going to have somebody sitting here yelling at me all day. But the fertilizer that normally goes north this time of year is also may have to go on trains. So there's at least a few things out here that why the market is kind of calm over the next few days. We might have some train trades. You might be able to look at some things going up, and there might be some good trades even next week at least in the commodity space. So we can take a look at that. I want to thank everybody that participated in the Tiger Dollars promotion. I noticed it was still up there. I'm going to have to tell them when I get out of here that the Tiger Dollar promotion needs to be taken down off the website. I'm sure they're probably working on that right now. But I guess if you went and snuck in, you could probably still sneak in with the hair of your chinny chin and get that in. But anyway, we're as we continue to look at the market, we've got the 1440 on the S&P. All the options actually continue to show that we are, keep on saying something like 1410 for exploration. So I'm wondering if we're not looking at a big surprise tomorrow. Oh, this is Ice Ice Baby. There it is. Anyway, we'll be back in just a minute.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Happy holidays from TFNN. Our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale is back this December at TFNN. Normally, we offer only a 10 to 20% bonus on Tiger Dollar purchases, but through December 19th only, when you purchase Tiger Dollars to spend on any of our products, you get a 25% bonus on your purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. You'll receive a personalized thank you letter directly from our local Clearwater Salvation Army administrator in appreciation of your donation. Tiger Dollars can be used on any of our newsletters or subscriptions, never expire, and are fully transferable. Take advantage of our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale of the year right now. Visit TFNN.com for all the details and to make your purchase today. Happy holidays from TFNN.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we go through the rest of the day here, we've got the talk stalled, market still wanting to try to pop here a little. Highly short market. It's kind of easy to move them. Kind of surprised that we're up 5. I thought maybe we'd be maybe flat in the marketplace today. But down 10% again for Herbalife. Wanted to look and see what we had in the NASDAQ moving at here. One of the things that comes to mind is, what is NASDAQ going to be able to do to compete with ICE, NYSE, Euronext, now that they're pretty much a conglomerate? How that's going to play out. Let's see, go back here. There we go. I wanted to see what else is moving in. Oh, I had some other things out there. Best Buy, or not Best Buy, Bed Bath & Beyond came out with earnings last night. They're down $4.31, BBBY. Didn't do much for their forecast, and that's pretty much what's hurt them. Kind of missed on both sides of their earnings, but they are coming down here and blowing away the previous low, which was at $55.58 with 3.1 million shares. We're already into it with 12 million shares. This thing continues, like a lot of these retail stocks, just to continue to make ABC downs. I suspect that this, you've got, this thing's trying to hold in below that low, but it's going to look tough if this thing's going to hold it. See if we go back here just a little bit farther and see what that's doing. Yeah, there's probably the next big support level. Looks like it's going to be coming in around this gap, and that gap is at just over 51 bucks, something like that. So look for it to come back that far. Intuitive Surgical still moving down. ISRG printing off at 495 right now, down almost 4%. Another one that didn't look so good. Tonight after the bell, just why I'm thinking about it, we've got RIM. Don't think that there's going to be a lot of movement in it, but it is still highly short and probably too short. So even bad news could be good news. Intuitive Surgical's pretty much filling this gap that came up with some fairly decent volume, about 472,000. We're going to probably get into that with higher volume by the end of the day today. ISRG is the once super high flyer. Like a lot of these, they kind of made a top and are pulling back fairly strongly. And we've got 2 minutes left. Still wanted to look at Apple, AAPI, out here, and see what we had. Apple continues to slowly try to move back down. Let's see if I have my quotes here. Apple really wants to probably come back into that 505, 501 area. Now, will it before the end of the year? Probably with at least decent support around 520. Fairly low volume so far already today. I think everybody's just suspecting that there's a deal coming any moment, and they all want to be long. One of the other things that kind of scares me right now about being long is that some numbers came out in hedge funds. And the last time that hedge funds were this bullish and had this much money committed on the long side was March of 2007. And we all know what happened shortly after that. Basically, everybody and their dog was long. I'm wondering if we aren't maybe in that same kind of realm of looking at those kind of markets that are that weak. On the winning side in the NASDAQ, as we go back through here, I wanted to actually having internet problems here today, so give me just a little bit of a minute. We've got Flexera, FLEX, as one of the strongest one on the NASDAQ 100, up 2.7%, trading at $6.26. Yeah, still having problems with the internet. Anyways, let's try it one more time. Well, maybe I'll be able to fix this during the break. But we've got a couple issues going on here. And every once in a while, nothing seems to go right. But most of the time, it does. We'll be back. And we promise, if you give me a call at 877-927-6648, that we will not play Ice Ice Baby again today. We will threaten you tomorrow, but we will not play it again today. Be back in just a second.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, as always, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. But that's it. Anyway, we've got a market that's moving up a little bit. I must be living right because I've got a number of individual stocks that are short, that I'm short. And actually, they're down. One's down $1, another one's down 50 cents. Actually living right. I got one that's up about 20 cents. So far, so good. Would like the market to go ahead and break here, but I think it's going to have to be the realization that actually there is going to be no deal. And I think that's basically the probably the trade, not for the minute, but over the next week. We're going to look through some stocks here fairly quickly. Industrial Select Spider ETF, we've been looking at this the last couple of days. Coming in about, 75% of volume over the last few days. The ticker is XLI. We saw $38.17 as the high, and that gets us, 20 million shares on March 15th. We've gone over those, and let's see, what are we going to do? 36. You know, we're still a couple of dimes higher, but we're going to have to see, close here fairly soon, at least in the industrial selects, would be kind of a bad sign out here. Financials, they've kind of creeped up here, but not all that great. Let me find out if we have anything else. Watson Pharmaceuticals is another one we're watching. WPI is the symbol on it. This one has gotten back up to its old high of $90 from November 1st. Got to $90.80, but of course about 1 million shares. So we continue to see a market that's a bit weaker. And I don't know what you can say out here other than it's hitting highs on 50% volume. Can the market bounce around here, 5 points up, 5 points down over the next few days? I think it can. I think the realization, though, if we can't get to a fiscal cliff compromise, is that we are going over that cliff at least for the first couple of days of January. Now, remember, any bill that goes through the Republican-controlled House has to be out for 3 days so everybody can read it, so that we know what's in it, Ms. Pelosi. And that means that you pretty much have to the 27th to put a deal together. The Senate is coming back the 27th. So I suspect we're probably at the point right now that it would be hard for me to believe that we ever get a deal. I'm just wondering when everybody actually comes to that opinion. Maybe there's some news out that I wasn't watching in the last hour or so, but kind of interesting. Anyway, we're going to get back to some of these other stocks. Another one that's interesting, in fact, I've been looking at it, and that is gasoline. Gasoline in our big price wars here on Gulf to Bay was down at $2.97 today. I keep on thinking that, boy, I'd be very wary of being in any of these stocks that both were refining, distribution, and actual retail sales. Valero would be the one that would worry me. It's actually, the volume's not all that bad here. We saw the September 14th high at $34.36, 11 million shares. We've gone into that and broke above that high by about 14 cents. But the volume has been 9.3 million is the high, so 2 million short. You know, normally you start getting a good signal at 10%. So can I say you got a signal? Yes. Is it bright and as clear as the ones I normally like? We're about 50% volume. No, but we're still looking at those highs. Trinity Industries, TRN is the symbol on this one. The February 23rd high at $36.09, 3.9 million shares. Bucking up against that the last couple of days. Looks like it's going to close down just a little bit. But 850,000, 970,000, 1.4 million. We continue to buck those highs with much lighter volume. Pretty much the pattern that we can see out here in the market. Another one like this is TEX, the symbol for Terex Corporation. This is another one. I think we referred to it yesterday that I'm looking at. If you can get any kind of action on these, will we have any kind of Christmas rally, maybe the last few days of the year? Doesn't look like it so far. The February 21st high on this was $26.77 with 5 million shares. And, you know, it's gone above it. Looks like it's going to close back down below it over the next couple of days. But 2.6 million shares, so pretty much coming in right in half. You got kind of a nice little doji out here hanging. Probably get a lot tomorrow during expiration. Probably get a little idea of what some of these other stocks are doing. Ridex S&P Equal Weight S&P. This one's pretty nice because it doesn't have unequal weighting for the S&P. RSP is a symbol for that. I always like to look at this one when I'm looking at the S&P. But what do we have here? And that is a test of the high. And we came in with about 30%, 25% lighter volume. Maybe something like that. The old high on this one was the September 14th high at $54.21 on 1.1 million shares. We got into it with 820,000 shares on the 19th yesterday, and not doing so much today on light volume. QEP Resources. I've talked a lot about these patterns that are huge volume down, and that huge volume down spikes those gaps are getting refilled, and we continue to see that, and pretty much that's the end of a lot of these moves. This one came down on monster volume of 8 million, about 8.6 million shares, and we've gotten into it for 1.7 million shares. 1.7 million shares, probably going to be just a little bit above it, but are closing back below. And continue to see somebody typing, but nothing coming through. PHH Corporation is another one. We get a high out here. This one is another one that I'm watching closely. PHH is the symbol on this. We had the October 9th high on this one at $22.74, 1.4 million shares. And what do we have in that? Coming into it with about 1 million shares yesterday, going to be even a little bit lighter today, and kind of tough to see anything really moving back in this, but it closed back below $22.74 would be an effective sell signal. You think that this thing would probably come back to the first gap, which is around $21 in this. Now, what else do we have? In NetSuite, another one making a nice little high out here on light volume, probably signaling at least the end of the rally, if not a pullback. NetSuite symbol is in. October 26th high, $67.02, 2.1 million shares. What do we get? 410,000 shares yesterday. Going to probably be in that range, maybe a little less yet out there today. Need it close below $67.02 with less than 2 million shares. And I think you've got the 2 million handled. The only thing is whether it can close below 67.02. So another good one to keep an eye on. LinkedIn, this thing's gotten pretty much at the point, if the market's going to run, this would not probably be a bad stock to be long in, but for the most part, it looks like an ABC down so far. If the market really rallied, could this thing go back up to 125.50? I think it would probably, may not be a bad long out of here, but you've done basically a 0.7 retracement, and it hasn't done a lot, the last couple days. Looks like we're going to get a doji out of here today. That means that that's normally the halfway move on the way up or the end of a move, and probably get a good indication of that tomorrow. I'll look at the options on it tomorrow and see whether or not there isn't a nice little play out here. Another one that looks like maybe an ABC down out here. It's just been one of the worst stocks in the market, and that's JCPenney's. Let me do the little expansion on this thing, because this thing actually pops right up. It's not hard to find. It's done a 0.53 or 53% retracement of the move from $27 down to $15.69. The energy has not been anything very exciting. You had a nice little gap. This thing's come up to the gap. It is closing lower out here. That gap had some huge volume too. 41.5 million shares. You probably had to expect some fairly decent resistance out there. I haven't read anything about JCPenney actually doing any better, so we'll continue to watch that stock. But if you were looking to go short the retailers out here, pretty hard to find a better looking stock than JCPenney. I like stocks that are above 30 bucks to short, but that's still not bad. The iShares Dow Jones U.S. Home Construction Index Fund, ITB, looks like it's putting in a lighter high out here. The numbers weren't all that great this morning for the home builders. They were okay, but a lot of people didn't really do a lot for the market when it came out, and I think everybody's had a collective yawn out here. We are getting a nice little doji, but what I'm looking at in this is ITB. Is the symbol is the Home Construction Index Fund. The October 31st high out here, $21.33, 7.4 million shares. We've gone above it. We've closed below it. You've come in with 6.1 million shares, and it's going to be light, but I think you've got a fairly decent sell signal. If you'd been long this thing, time to get out and wait for a retrace, and if that retrace is light, then maybe time to buy those home builders once again. Another one of the retailer brands, at least, is Iconix brand. Icon, I-C-O-N is the symbol on it. This thing had a big high on decent volume back on February 22nd, 1.6 million shares. We got into that now, again, looking for a close below 21.95. Don't think you're going to get that today, but we've got 790,000 shares yesterday. Going to come in a little bit lighter than that today, I suspect. But another one to be watching out here at the highs to give a decent signal. Let's see. Go ahead and check anything. Nice quote in the den out here. There are two ways to conquer and slave a nation. One is by sword, the other one is by debt. John Adams, 1826. I wonder which John Adams it was, the father or the son. I thought the son had a different name, maybe. Anyway, Honeywell International, H-O-N. We look at that. Nice little high out here. This one is probably one of the scariest stocks for giving a retrace in the broad markets, and that is a fairly decent break above the last major high out here, and the volume being fairly light. We had, I always use the high within 0.5% of the high, and that comes in on October 19th. You had 9.8 million shares that day. We continue to see about half that, 5 million, probably going to get 4 million today. We don't have a close back below that $63.89 high from November 6th, which is the one I'm going to key off of, at least for the price. But we get a close back below that $63.89 and maybe even a little bit lower, maybe back into this gap of 63 bucks. These things just look awful tired out here and could pull back. One of the strongest stocks in the group, at least in my scans, is starting to look kind of good, and at least basing out, maybe we find something. I still have that miserable cold I've had for 2 weeks here. So anyway, when we're looking at Hain Celestial Group, H-A-I-N, he said, this thing is basing out not too bad. It's got pretty much everything that you like in a bullish stock. That is, you take off with a sign of strength, heavy volume, nice price spread. You come back and you fill that. Normally you get at least a couple of times, kind of like a rock skipping on water. It bounces off it a couple of times. The first time was October 12th with 3 million shares at $56.46. Got a little bit below that, but we're down to 750,000 shares. Going to be another light day out here today. This is exactly what you like to see. If you can get 4 or 5 days of this thing going sideways, maybe the first part of the year, this thing looks very good. Maybe see a little bit of action, maybe the volume pick up. This thing looks like it may be one of the few really bullish stocks to start the beginning of the year out. So what do we have now? Oh, Vanilla Ice, Don't Fall, huh? Okay, well, we'll be back. Oh, Milli Vanilli. That's even worse. The Sons of Satan. Anyway, we'll be back in just a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648, before he plays another song.
Stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And as we come back, market's up 6-7 points now, about 7 points on the S&P cash. We've got 2.6 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape that soon will be the Vanilla Ice tape. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess the question is whether or not they're going to ever have a New York Stock Exchange with a floor, or is that all gone? 95% of all trades, or 96% of all trades now, all go through the location in New Jersey. So I'm wondering if there's any real need for it anymore. We've got a caller. We're going to go to it. And it's Steve from Denver. How you doing, Steve?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing, Dave? Good to talk to you.
Well, I'm not sneezing at the moment, so I'll...
That stuff's going around.
I've had it for like 3 weeks. I don't know what's going to take to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we're looking at GASL. G-A-S-L.
Yeah, it's a triple.
Yeah.
It's a triple ETF. Mm-hmm. I'm in the thing around 1980.
It looks good. Saw the numbers come out. There were about 80 billion cubic feet drawdown, which is the first thing you needed to get this thing starting to move. I think everybody kind of knew it a little bit yesterday where it popped. You've got a decent day. I'm going to look at UNG here. You get a little bit better.
There was a big move.
What's that? Yeah. You've got a little better move today on UNG than you do on GASL.
Okay.
Is GASL total natural gas?
I believe so, but it's the triple ETF, the direction share.
Yeah.
Let
me just find out.
It moves fast once it gets going.
I just want to pull up the profile on it here just to make sure.
I'm pretty sure it's all
I haven't looked at it
gas.
lately. Okay, the GasL seeks the daily investment results net of expenses of 300% of the performance of ISE Reverie Natural Gas Index. Creates long position investing at 80% of its net assets in the equal securities that can provide compromise. So this is the securities, not actually natural gas itself. This would be this would be only those stocks in it and not natural gas itself like UNG. But you had a nice little move in this thing. So what's your question out here?
Well, just where do you think it could go here? I stuck it up on a. Let me just go to a daily chart here. I make my living trading these triple ETFs, and I just kind of wanted to get your opinion about this. This thing hasn't moved for a few days.
It hadn't. You've been in a nice trading range here, so you built some energy over the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Coming out here, you had a lot of volume, yes. You didn't move much here today. And here's my thought on it, especially on natural gas.
Okay.
You're going to need probably 3 or 4 weeks of the drawdowns like we saw today. And then these stocks are probably going to start moving because there isn't a decent supply of natural gas. What you need to do is have them start to use it faster than they can replace it, which is going to be kind of tough. So I'd be watching natural gas price, but I think you're probably going to need 3-4 weeks of what we saw today, which was, I think, an 80 billion cubic feet drawdown.
Right.
And
because of all the cold weather that just hit.
Yeah, you're finally getting that in the Midwest. You're finally getting some cold. We may be getting a little bit of, have you heard what the weather is like in Siberia?
No, I haven't. I probably don't follow Siberia.
Well, I tell you what, if you're believing in global warming, you won't believe in it anymore. They've been like minus 50 for a couple of weeks already. This is the coldest winter in Russia. Now, normally when you see things like that on the opposite side of the globe, fairly close to our latitudes, we start getting it. So I'm thinking, you need to be watching that weather. I'd have one eye on the Weather Channel, but this thing's probably going to take a couple of weeks to get this thing rolling because there's still a lot of natural gas out there, and you really need that price a little higher. I want to thank you for the call, Steve.
Hey, thanks, David. I really appreciate your show.
Okay. We'll be back later.